Good morning. I'm happy to see all of you, my dear students. I'm excited that we will learn a new topic. Actually, this is not a new topic because we have already discussed this last week, and we are just going to reinforce what you have learned last week. And this time, I'm expecting that you can showcase what you have learned. Now, our topic is identify the basic sentence pattern. Like I said, that we have already discussed it, but today I just want to see how well can you identify the basic sentence pattern, and of course, I want to see how you can construct your own sentences. So let's review our topic. Now, before we will review, let me remind you that the basic essential learning competency that is expected of you to learn is how to use sentences appropriately and meaningfully. And what are my expectations, or what are the expected skills that you should learn for today? Number one, we have two, and then number one, analyze the structure of the sentence, whether it follows the correct pattern. Number two, I'm expecting that you can construct meaningful sentences. And of course, with the correct pattern of the sentence. So we will review what we have learned last time. The basic sentence patterns, there are 5. Number one is, yes, the SIV. And number 2, the SLVC. Number 3, we have the STVDO, that I find that you like constructing STVDO last week because you find it very easy. And number 4, we have the STVIODO. And then the number 5, we have the STVDOOC. Now remember, why do we study sentence pattern? Because it serves as your guide in writing and of course in expressing your sentences appropriately and meaningfully. We do not just write random words, but we have in English language, we follow a specific pattern for us to be understood. Okay, now are you ready to start with our activity 1? For activity 1, we have, or you will analyze the structure of the sentence to identify what sentence pattern is being used. And for sure, since you have already learned this, you can identify it very easily. Piece of cake, right? All right, for sentence number 1, we have, okay, I submitted my report. Now, what sentence pattern do you think it is? Can you say it louder? All right, correct. The answer is STVDO. Now, our subject is I, submitted is the transitive verb, meaning to say transitive verb has a direct object. And the direct object here is my report. Now, how do you know that is a direct object? Because a direct object is the receiver of the action word. And our action word here is submitted. All right, so good job. You're able to answer. Number 2. So sentence number 2, we have, the mango tastes so sweet. Now, what do you think is the sentence pattern in this sentence? Can you say it louder? Yes, it's correct. The correct answer is SLVC. So our subject here is the mango. Taste is the linking verb. Now, what do you mean by a linking verb? A linking verb means to say that it links between the subject and the complement. Now, a linking verb can be a verb to be, the is, was, were. So those are the linking verb, but there are also a special case of a linking verb. Now, this pertains to the senses. So in this sentence, we have taste. So it pertains to our tasting. And our complement is sweet. Now, how do you know it is a complement and not a direct object? All right, it's very easy, because if the word describes your subject, in this case, mango is our subject, and how does the mango being described in the sentence? It is sweet. So that's the difference between a direct object and a complement. All right, now let's go to the third sentence. We have, can I ask somebody to read? Okay, So the chef shares us the secret recipe. Now, what do you think is the sentence pattern for this sentence? Can you say it louder? All right, that's correct. The correct answer is STVIOTO. Now our subject in the sentence is the chef. Shares is the transitive verb, meaning to say it has a direct object. Now in the sentence we have the indirect object and we have the direct object. Now what is the difference between the two? When we say indirect object, it is where the subject, where the verb is, the indirect object receives the action verb. But there is also the direct object. The direct object is the receiver of the action. Now, the indirect object, usually it is a pronoun. In this case, we have the word as, pronoun as, so that's the indirect object, where the action is projected, and to whom the secret recipe is given. So in this case, the word or the pronoun as. Now, shares what? Now, remember that the direct object answers the questions what or whom. Now, the sentence here is the chef shares us the secret recipe. Recipe is the receiver of the action shares. What was being shared? Recipe. Okay, good job. You're able to identify. Now, let's go to sentence number 4. Okay, so let me read to you the sentence. Spielberg directed the movie Titanic. Now, this is a very famous movie, but for sure you weren't born yet when the movie came out. Spielberg is a famous director. Okay, now what is the sentence pattern used in this, in sentence number 4? Okay, would you like to answer Eunice? And your answer is? Correct. STVDOOC. Now, what is the difference between the complement and object complement? We have discussed it earlier. Okay, let's just first identify where's the subject. Our subject is Spielberg. The transitive verb, you know what is a transitive verb? The receiver, an action word that has a direct object. And directed what? So directed a movie or the movie. And what movie it is? Titanic. So this is the difference between an object complement and a complement. The object complement would point back to the direct object, whereas the complement would point back to or would describe your subject, not the direct object. All right, so let's go to our last sentence, our 5th sentence. Let's see who can answer. All right, the sentence is, my father works every weekend. What would be the sentence pattern? Okay, can I hear you? All right, perfect. The correct answer is SIV. Now, what is the difference between intransitive verb and transitive verb? Let's see. In this sentence, our subject is? Yes, correct. Father. Father is our subject. And the intransitive verb is? Perfect. The intransitive verb is words. Now, what's the difference? The intransitive verb does not have a direct object, while the transitive verb does have a direct object. In this case, let's analyze our sentence. Every weekend. It does not answer the question, what, right? So we have discussed earlier that a direct object usually answers the questions, what? Now this every weekend, what is that? It's a time, all right. Now there is a clue for you how to identify if it is in SIV pattern or the verb is in intransitive. Let's just review. If a verb is followed by an adverb, the verb is intransitive. In this case, we have the example, Carla talks loudly. Intransitive verb here is talks because the verb, the word after is loudly, which is a verb. All right, so here are the example of adverb. We have the adverb of manner. An example for that is carefully, slowly, silently, and loudly. The adverb of place usually talks about, not usually, it always talks about place. We have at home, in the park, outside. And we also have the adverb of time. We have example tomorrow, yesterday, today, and last year. Now the adverb of frequency we have always, rarely, occasionally, and sometimes. So if your verb follows these words, the example of adverbs, then you will know that it is in a sentence. The sentence pattern is SIV. It does not have a direct object. Okay? So these are your clues. Now we have for our next activity, spot on any sentence pattern you can identify in the passage. So earlier you were able to point out or tell me what the sentence pattern is used. This time you will identify or spot on the sentence pattern in the passage. Okay, so this is taken from the news in Inquirer. Let's see. Okay, I will read to you the passage. Magnitude 7.1 earthquake. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit in Mindanao on January 21. The earthquake was strong. It made the people afraid. The residents told the reporter the incident. Some people were injured. Okay, now let's see. Let's test your understanding of sentence pattern. All right, sentence number 1. Yes, who would like to answer? All right, let's see, Peter. What is your answer? Okay, correct. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit in Mindanao on January 21. What is that? Our subject is, yes, correct, earthquake, and hit is our transitive or intransitive? Yes, intransitive. So since it is intransitive, it does not have a direct object. It tells you after the verb, you have the word Mindanao. Mindanao is a place, and then followed by time. So what is our clue earlier I gave you? Yes, if it follows an adverb, your sentence pattern is SIV. Okay, we have the earthquake was strong. It is excellent. That is an SLVC pattern. All right, the next one. The residents told the reporter the incident. Okay, resident is our subject. Told. Okay, told is our transitive verb. Reporter is perfect. That is our indirect object. Incident is the direct object. So this pattern is STVIODO. And now we'll go to the last one. Okay, some people were injured. Okay, what pattern is that? Perfect. Some people were injured. This is people is subject. Where is linking verb? Linking verb. Injured is complement. It describes the people or what happened to the people. All right, so I'm happy that you were able to answer all of our exercises. Now, let's see. This will be the test of your understanding of the lesson so it is not just being able to identify what sentence pattern, but the best thing would be that you can construct your own sentence, because this will test really if you really have, if you can translate what you have understood into writing. All right, so this will be our activity. Now we are going to use the Jamboard So you can write a sentence on the using the Jamboard on our in our Google Drive. So I'd like you to click the link. I'm going to give it in the chat box. So if you have the link, kindly click on it and we will go to Jamboard where you will be writing your sample of the sentence pattern that you have learned. All right. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's read your answers. You don't have to be on the same page. You can go to the other page to post your answer. Jikeya answer, mother is industrious. That's good. That's a perfect answer. But Jikeya, when you write a sentence, make sure that you start with a capital letter. And then, of course, to complete your sentence, use necessary punctuation mark. So start. Lesson. Okay, I'm happy that you have participated well in this lesson this morning. Now I'm going to give you a task. This will be done next week in our next meeting. So group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, please take note of your task. For group 1, you are going to have a storytelling, and in your storytelling, after you are telling the story, you have to construct a sentence pattern from the story using the SLBC, STBDO, OC pattern. Now for group 2, you are going to have, you will be dramatizing a discussion of STBIODO. So this will be a recorded performance. Now group 3, this is very easy for you to do because you like doing this. Create a TikTok compilation of discussion and examples of SID and STBDO sentence patterns. All right, for group 4, share your experiences in distance learning. But of course, you're not just going to share it, but you keep in mind that you are going to use correct sentence pattern. And of course, this will help you construct your sentence correctly and meaningfully. Okay, now to wrap up our lesson, learning the English language is a little bit challenging. Why? Because there are certain rules to consider. Every word in your sentence has to be placed in a correct order. And how do you know the words in your sentence? How do you know the words in your sentence are in the right places? Now, learning the basic sentence pattern would be handy. Now, the basic sentence patterns serve as your guide in writing and expressing your sentences appropriately and meaningfully. So I hope that we have a meaningful discussion for today, and do not just learn, use the language that you have learned. So see you in our next class. God bless and have a great day. I'm happy that you have participated. Bye.